Three, two, one. Da-da! Sophia! Hey friends, Janky here, coming at you with the last Janky at PAX. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. I'm kind of in a place right now, in my recordings for stuff, that I'm like, I have stuff recorded, so it'd be cool if I didn't record anything today. But at the same time, PAX East is now like 2 weeks out, so I feel like I should finish up this series. Not to mention, I still have my articles to write, and I still have I don't have like Janky's Lab backlogs or anything like that, so I should get those recorded. And then on the other hand, I'm like, I haven't played Enter the Gungeon in forever. I should download that to my PC so I can play that. Now that I have a controller, I bet I'll be sweet at it. So that's the world that I'm living in right now. Any hoozle, let's talk about PAX East some more, because I still have lots of games to talk about, and I'd like to get through as many of them today as possible, if not the rest. So, here we go. You may recall that last time I left off on Flipping Death, which was such a good game. If you haven't checked it out already, do it, because it's great, and you should. So definitely go do that. Nope, that was a list of booths I wanted to see. Did I actually see any of them? I saw some of them. Ultimate Chicken Horse. I passed by Clever Endeavor, and I waved, and I watched some people play Ultimate Chicken Horse. I did not play myself, because I just didn't. I have that game for me and my friends, and we play it sometimes, and it's great. It's a great game. You should definitely check it out, but I didn't play it there. Then I did check out Merge Games, but just kind of in passing. They're the ones who make Origami, or made Origami. It's the one where you're like a shadow ninja who has crazy shadow ninja powers, and you're like trying to attack the Guardians of the Light or something like that. I don't know. It's cool. Smugglecraft and Tumbleseed. I saw both of those things. I did not play either of those things. I actually meant to make my way back around to Smugglecraft because that one looked really cool and it was multiplayer. And I was thinking, ooh, multiplayer mayhem. I mean, shared shenanigans. That's what my version of that series is called. Shut up. Anyway, okay, so let's see. After Flipping Death, most of the stuff that I saw after Flipping Death was just kind of stuff I was wandering around on the convention floor and I saw. So I saw a game. Oh yeah, it was back along that same row. It was called Mama Hawk, and it's like a mobile game, and you can also play it on PC and Mac, I believe. But basically, you're like a mother hawk, and there are all these animals that live around the tree that you raise your babies in, and you just have to sweep them up and feed them to your hawk babies. And first, it's stuff like squirrels and groundhogs and bunnies, and then you get into stuff like deer and moose and elk and antelope and parrots and like just a whole bunch of animals. And then, they introduce animals like skunks and porcupines and things that will like defy you. Also crows, like crows will fly by in V formation. It's super annoying. And then if you get like a superpower up though, you can knock them all out. Anyway, the point is, it's a fun game. I passed the time in it. I got a real good score. I got a real high score on that game. It's really cool. It's actually supposed to come out on Mother's Day, appropriately enough. So if you ever get a chance, definitely look that up. I don't know if you can find it on the App Store right now, but Mama Hawk, check it out. And let's see. Oh yeah, I saw this really cool game called Castle Story. It's basically sort of like I want to say it's Risk exactly. It's a little like Risk. Basically, you have this crystal that you're supposed to protect, and your way of protecting it is to build a castle around it. And you can design the castle however you want because you build it block by block, so you can literally make the castle whatever you want it to be. And you basically just defend your castle against other players, and you can go out and raid their castles. And you train fighters and warriors and stuff like that. It looked really cool. That was one of the ones that I really kind of saw in passing, but I talked to the developer about it, or the PR agent, whoever happened to be standing outside at the time. That was a really fun game though. That game was really cool. So I really enjoyed that. That was sweet. Good stuff. Castle Story. Definitely check that out. Ooh, and then I played a game called Sombrero, the spaghetti western shooter. This was by Alliance Digital Media. They were a publishing company. They were showing off a few of their games. One I know I'm probably going to play on Janky's Lab, even though it's not really a new game. It was released a while ago. But it's called Duke Gabrowski, the Mighty Swashbuckler. And I'm definitely going to play that game because it looks hilarious. It's like about this pirate captain dies, so everyone on the crew, of course, wants to step up and be captain. And the most obvious choice is this big, giant, hulking dude called Duke Grabowski. Well, none of the other pirates wanted to fight him for the title, so they decided to send him off on some bogus quest, saying that he can't be a pirate captain unless he can woo 3 ladies, because he wouldn't be a true swashbuckler otherwise. So your quest is to go off and woo ladies. So that'll be fun. And I'll definitely play that coming up because I have a key for it. And then the other game is Sombrero, which is actually one of the things that I don't know when this is going up, but it's a key that's in the PAX giveaway bundle. But basically, it's a multiplayer spaghetti western shooter, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like Mario Brothers, but entirely with guns. It's like if Enter the Gungeon met Mario Brothers, like Super Smash, and it would be maybe Brawlhalla. Maybe if Enter the Gungeon met Brawlhalla, it would become Sombrero. Anyway, it's great. It's awesome and hilarious. And Joe and I have played a few rounds, and we're looking for some players for a shared shenanigans. So if you want to get in on that, do it. Do it. It's great. Then I was passing by the indie mega booth. Oh yeah, and I played this really cool game called Semblance. Oh, this game is awesome. So it's from 2 developers who are originally from South Africa. The game was actually made for a game jam, which, as you guys know, I'm sure if you've heard of game jams before, are just sort of like you give a bunch of developers a theme and they just kind of like build a fun little game around that theme. And sometimes it will lead to people actually making games, and sometimes it'll just be like a fun little thing to do with your time. Either way, it's really creative and awesome and a really cool pursuit. And this particular game, it was basically like, what if we made our hero like Play-Doh? What if he could just bend into different shapes? So they created this game called Semblance that was sort of about this hero who could morph into these different shapes. The thing was, they found that there was only so much they could do with like this little Play-Doh ball hero. They could morph into different things. So they decided to take it from a different perspective and say, okay, what if the world could also change? That's what makes Semblance such a cool game, is that the entire world just sort of shifts, depending on how you interact with it. I mean, you have to make it happen. But you can force things to bend, you can force things to snap back into place, and you can use that to launch yourself to higher places. It's a really cool side-scrolling sort of puzzle-solving indie game. And yeah, it's really fun, so definitely check it out if you get the chance. It's called Semblance, and it's awesome. Anyway, it's a really cool game, so you should definitely check it out. And then the other thing I want to talk about, is Mages of Mistrella, which I absolutely have to get to because I actually played this one right before I got to go to Pit People. Oh, I still have to talk about Pit People. And I still have to talk about How I Met Your Art, the completion. This may just be a long Janky at PAX. I apologize. Okay, so Mages of Mistrella, this super awesome game. It's coming out, I don't remember exactly when it's coming out, but let me tell you why this game is so cool. This game is so cool because it's a spellcasting RPG game where you actually get to design your spells. Like, you can program them to do, I don't want to say anything you want, but it's pretty close. So there are 4 basic spells in this game. There's I don't remember their exact names, but basically a conjuring spell, a shielding spell, a fireball spell kind of thing, and then like a melee attack spell. And along the way on your journey, you pick up these runes from around these rubble sites, these ruins, and you can attach these runes to your spells to modify them and get them to do different things. Like, for example, you can get a fireball to move forward, or get it to multiply, or get it to curve to the right whenever you want it to. And it's it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And I hope that I have footage that's playing right now over me talking, because it's really something you have to see to appreciate, but it is so awesome, and I cannot wait to see more of this game in the future. And I'm pretty sure it's being released on PC, so I'm excited. And hopefully they'll send me a Steam key, because I emailed the PR guy about it, and I don't know if he got back to me yet or not, but hopefully. I'm hoping, because this game is so cool and I want to show it to you guys, possibly on Janky's lab. It was so awesome. Okay, so quick side story before I go into the behemoth, because that was sort of the last big thing I did that day. So, side story. I made my way back around to the Wunderling booth so that I could say hello to Gerard the Completionist. I was much cooler with Gerard. I just like walked up to him and I'm like, yo, Gerard. I mean, whenever I got there, he was taking a picture with someone, but I'm just like, do you mind if I get a picture? And he's like, sure. And I had cleared out my phone by that point. So we got a real nice picture. It was super cool. We were super chill about it. And I talked to him. I talked to him about Multiplayer Mayhem too. And poor Gerard, he'll never get points again in that entire show, in the entirety of that show. But we had a nice little chat. And then he wished me a great PAX, and I wished it right back at him, and it was a really pleasant interaction. I would really like to work in their office someday. I don't know how you would do that. I imagine that it's sort of like a recommendation thing, because I feel like you wouldn't just post a job to work in that one video gamer office, because I feel like literally everyone would apply to that. But I would work in that office. If they had a position open, I don't care what it is, I would work there. I would love to work with those guys. Super cool. Yeah. Anyway, it was really cool. It was really cool to meet the Completionist, and I'm glad that it went smoothly with him to meet him, and I'm glad it went smoothly with Jesse and Krendor to meet them. Unfortunately, Alex was just my awkward interaction. 3 out of 4 ain't bad, but I still feel pretty guilty about that one. What can you do? Anyway, let's move on to the behemoth. So this was great. I went over to the behemoth booth, which was just a whole bunch of pit people and some castle crashers and battle block theater. Just a whole bunch of them. And they were all set up like arcade games. So all of them were rigged with these arcade consoles, like the pit people ones. You had some buttons to shift your people around, and then you just had a big old lever that said execute that you just pull on it. It was so cool and so much fun. So nifty. Anyway, I just chilled out with Ian, who was the sort of PR guy for the behemoth that day. And he is actually the guy who voices the Garbledygook for Yosef, the Demiclops, who is Joe's favorite character. So I was very excited to meet him. And he also helped license the music, which I love that music. And I asked him about it, and it turns out they do say I wash my hands whenever you're in the city and you're trying to figure out what they're saying. It's I wash my hands. That's the phrase. Haha. I was correct. Joe and I had an argument about it. I don't know if that was actually on an episode of Pit People. It might have just been something we did off screen. But still, I won. It was a really pleasant conversation, though, because we talked... I don't think that there was anything about Pit People we didn't cover. We kind of talked about what the plans are for early access, like what kind of updates they're looking at. We talked about the updates that actually just got released a few days ago, the Emperor's Orders, and there should be a mini-map on there now, so you can actually figure out where you're going and kind of see where all the little side quests are and stuff like that. So that's a really nice addition. I'm very excited about that. And then we kind of talked about them adding more story quests and things before they release the full game, you know, just adding a little bit more story. So that'll be really cool. And then we talked about the music, obviously, because Ian kind of handled that, and we talked a bit about the character development and stuff like that. I mean, just the whole thing. And Space Bear, and how the guy who voices the Space Bear basically improvises his lines. They just give him like a general outline of the story, and then he just kind of goes for it, which is just beautiful and spectacular. Yeah, it was a good conversation. We covered just about everything there was to cover, and I love that game. I love Pit People so much. Joe and I have so much fun playing that game, and I was just so glad to meet one of the people behind it. And we talked our favorite characters. His, of course, he had a soft spot for Yosef. He also Pipistrella was his favorite. Because she has like an innocence to her, even though she's like a warrior princess. She's just like sweet and innocent. Like he pointed out the one line where she had never been to a birthday party, and then like, "You've never been to a birthday party?" And she's like, "I've been part of a war party before." And it's like, okay, Pip. And then I talked about how much I love Sophia because Sophia is bae, and yeah, we just had a really nice conversation. Then we kind of talked about PAX and like what was going on at PAX and some of the other games around, and yeah, it was super nice. We had a good chat. It was sweet. Yeah. 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 It was good. It was good. Oh, and then I also talked with some of the people at GameWisp. Who did I talk to specifically? I'm sure I have her card sitting around here somewhere. Do I? Or did I leave it sitting out so I could read it off? Because I'm an idiot and I don't keep anything organized. I need to clean up my desk so bad. My desk is just a mess right now. Ugh, my goodness. Oh, Kelly. Kelly from GameWisp. And we talked about live streaming and possibly setting up a subsystem for my stream. As you guys know, I'm not a great Twitch streamer, mostly because my internet sucks, but also because, you know, just like time and stuff, and trying to get working on YouTube, and then also having time to stream. I'm hoping someday that I can do more like Let's Play content on Twitch, like play games over there, and then leave YouTube open for stuff like Stream Shenanigans and Janky's Lab and hanging with Janky and stuff like this. So just a little insight into long-term planning. But yeah, I had a really pleasant conversation with her, and it was super cool, and I have a little card from her, and we just had a really pleasant convo, so that was nice. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else major that happened that day. I hung out with Tom and Afro some more, just kind of in passing. They were actually spending the night, and then they were flying out Monday, which would have been totally awesome, because then I could have hung out with them that evening, which would have been sweet, but I had to get back because I had to work on Monday, so it is what it is. But then I had a tearful goodbye with PAX, and I didn't want to leave because it was so cool. But the thing is, by the time I left, like, everybody was winding down anyway, so it was kind of one of those situations where it was like people were already starting to pack up their booths, and I was just like, well, I don't think I want to be here when the game floor closes because I'll just be sad about the whole thing. Yeah, so that was sort of the end of PAX. Sad, but it was fun. It was a blast. I had a wonderful time at PAX, and I'm hoping to go back next year, possibly, with GamerBuzz, and I don't know, maybe see if I can scrounge up some money and go to one of the other ones, like PAX West. I would love to go see Seattle. Seattle is a cool place. I'd love to do that. Oh dear. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps it up for Janky at PAX. I know this one ran kind of long. That was just because I wanted to try to get everything out all at once, because I only have one more cool picture of me and Gerard, and that's the one I wanted to use for the thumbnail, and I wouldn't even know what I would do after that for a thumbnail. So I figured I would just wrap it up now. Anyway, definitely look out on GamerBuzz for my articles to hit. One is already up, Adventure with Heart, where I talk about Hob and Frostrune and Pit People. And I also have one I'm working on Multiplayer Mayhem right now for Death Square, Brawlhalla, and Sombrero. And I have lots of other articles that I'm working on, so definitely check those out over on GamerBuzz, a great gaming news website, BT Dubs. And yeah, if you have comments or you like the video, you can leave a like down below. Comments, positive, negative, on the games, on PAX, on anything, on me, and what a great host I am. You should leave that down below. Let me know. Boost my day. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely day, evening, or whenever you happen to be watching. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, this is Janky Shenanigans, signing out. Hey friends, hope that you liked the video. If you did, you can find more of my content in these links off to the side here. And if you really enjoyed it, you can become part of the year of 1,000 subs here on the channel and use that button down below to subscribe. More than that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, this is Janky Shenanigans, signing out.